That barrel wasn't there yesterday. No hose running to it, no spigot, no pump, just a 5-gallon bucket sitting under the edge of a shed roof with a piece of bent aluminum and a scrap of window screen over the top. It rained last night, not even hard, maybe 20 minutes of steady drizzle around 2 a.m., and that bucket is full. 5 gallons of water, lean enough to see the bottom through, collected while I was asleep from a shed roof the size of a parking space using materials that cost me $3. I didn't invent this. I'm not even close to the first person to figure this out. The Amish have been doing this for generations, not as a hobby, not as a weekend project they post about online, as the way they get water, period. Entire households, laundry, dishes, livestock, gardens, drinking water for families of 8, 10, 12 people. All of it caught from the sky, stored underground or in tanks behind the barn, and moved through the property by nothing but gravity. No electricity, no municipal hookup, no monthly bill. And most of them couldn't tell you the last time they thought twice about it, because it just works. The way a doorknob works, the way a wheelbarrow works, it's too simple to break. And here's the part that should bother you a little. You have the same roof they do. You've had it your entire life. Every time it rains, hundreds of gallons of clean, soft, perfectly usable water hit your roof, roll off the edges, soak into the dirt, and disappear. You watch it happen from the window and never think about it because someone a long time ago ran a pipe to your house and started charging you for the same thing that falls out of the sky for free. The Amish never forgot. Most of us did. So let me show you what they do, and let me show you how little it actually takes to start. Here's the math that changes the way you look at rain. 1 inch of rainfall on 1,000 square feet of roof produces roughly 600 gallons of water. Your average American home has somewhere between 1,500 and 2,500 square feet of roof. That means a single decent rainstorm, nothing dramatic, just an inch, is delivering 900 to 1,500 gallons of water straight to your property, for free. And you're letting every drop of it drain into the ground. The Amish look at a roof and see what it actually is. Not just shelter from the rain collector itself, the biggest funnel you'll ever own. You already have it. You're just not using it. Now, the full Amish system, the ones running whole households, those involve larger cisterns, underground storage, gravity-fed plumbing lines, sometimes a windmill-driven pump to move water uphill. That's a real project. That's a commitment. But the core idea, the part that gets water into a container using nothing but a roof and rain and gravity, that's the $3 trick. And you can set it up this afternoon. Here's what you need. A section of aluminum or vinyl gutter, 2 to 3 feet long. Any hardware store, any scrap pile, $1, maybe $2, a piece of window screen or mesh, cut to fit over the top of whatever container you're collecting into. 50 cents, a handful of screws or a roll of duct tape to secure the gutter in position. That's whatever you've already got in a drawer and a container. A 5-gallon bucket, a storage tote, a trash can with no holes. If you don't have one lying around, you're the first person I've met who doesn't. The total outlay is somewhere between $2 and $4, depending on what you already have. Call it $3. Here's how it goes together. Find the lowest edge of any roof surface you've got. Doesn't have to be your house, a shed, a garage, a carport, a lean-to, a chicken coop. Anything with a sloped surface that sheds water. You're looking for the edge where the water already drips off when it rains. You know exactly where this is because there's a mud line on the ground beneath it, or a little trench worn into the dirt. That's where the water's been going every storm for years. Take your gutter section and mount it right under that drip edge. You don't need a full gutter run along the whole roof. Even a 2-foot section will intercept a surprising amount of runoff. Screw it into the fascia board, duct tape it to the edge, zip tie it to a bracket, prop it with a stick. I genuinely do not care how you attach it. It just needs to sit there and catch water falling off the roof edge. Angle that gutter slightly, just barely tilted toward one end, so the water runs to a single pour point. A 1/4 inch of drop over 2 feet is plenty. You'll see it when you pour a little water in. It should all slide toward one end. Set your container directly below that low end. Lay the screen mesh over the top of the container. That mesh is your filter. It catches leaves, shingle grit, bugs, twigs, anything that washed off the roof surface. It doesn't need to be fancy. It needs to keep debris out of your water. That's it. You're done. go to bed. When it rains, water hits the roof, runs to the edge, falls into the gutter, slides to the low point, pours through the screen into the bucket. You wake up, walk outside, and there it is, water. From nothing, from the air. Now here's the thing about this that the Amish understood 300 years ago, that modern engineering still hasn't improved on. Gravity is free, it never breaks, it doesn't need firmware updates, it doesn't need a generator, it doesn't stop working during a power outage. It works the same way on a Tuesday in July as it does during a hurricane in October. You don't need to be there. You don't need to turn anything on. You set up the path and the water follows it, because physics doesn't take days off. But there's one step the Amish add that most beginners skip. And it makes a bigger difference than anything else in the whole setup. It's called a first flush diverter. And the idea is simple. When rain starts falling on a roof, the first few minutes of runoff are dirty. That's the dust, the pollen, the bird droppings, whatever's been sitting on the shingles since the last storm. You don't want that in your collection barrel. You want to throw away the first bit and keep the rest. The Amish version of this is almost laughably simple. A short vertical section of pipe attached to the gutter's low end, capped at the bottom with a tiny hole drilled in the cap. When rain starts, water flows into this pipe first. It fills up with the dirty stuff. Once the pipe is full, the clean water overflows past it and pours into your collection container. After the rain stops, the dirty water slowly drains out through that tiny hole, and the pipe is empty again, ready for next time. You can build one from a 12-inch piece of PVC pipe and a cap. Total cost, maybe $1. But it takes your collected water from usable to genuinely clean. The Amish have been using versions of this for longer than your city's water treatment plant has existed. Let's talk about what you can do with this water, because the answer is more than most people assume. Straight out of the barrel, with just the screen filter, you've got irrigation water, garden water, livestock water, water for washing tools, rinsing muddy boots, filling a mop bucket. That alone is worth doing. The average American household uses around 30% of its water outdoors. Gardens, lawns, car washing, hosing down the driveway. You could offset 1/3 of your water usage with a setup that costs you less than a fast food lunch. But the Amish go further, and so can you. For drinking water, you need filtration. And again, this doesn't require anything expensive or complicated. Take a food-grade bucket. Drill a hole near the bottom and fit a spigot, $2 at a hardware store. Inside the bucket, layer your filter materials from bottom to top. A few inches of clean gravel at the very bottom, then coarse sand, then fine sand, then a layer of activated charcoal, the kind you buy for fish tank filters, a couple of dollars for a bag that'll last months. Then another layer of fine sand on top. Pour your rainwater in at the top. Let it percolate down through the layers. What comes out the spigot at the bottom is filtered water. The charcoal handles chemical traces, the sand handles particulates, and the gravel keeps everything from clogging. If you want to be completely sure, boil it. A rolling boil for 1 minute kills anything biological. Or add 2 drops of plain, unscented household bleach per gallon. Wait 30 minutes, and you're drinking water that's cleaner than what comes out of a lot of municipal taps. I'm not speculating. The EPA publishes this as their recommended emergency water treatment method. The Amish scale this by going bigger. Instead of a 5-gallon bucket, they use cisterns, concrete, fiberglass, or polyethylene tanks, buried underground or set on a platform behind the barn. Some hold 500 gallons, some hold 5,000. The roof collects the gutter's channel, gravity delivers the water to the tank, and a hand pump or elevated tank position gives them pressure at the tap. Whole families drink this water, cook with it, bathe in it, have 4 generations. The system doesn't care whether it's 1826 or 2026. Rain falls, roof catches, gravity moves, container holds. That's the whole thing. And this isn't just an Amish idea wearing a hat. Rainwater harvesting is one of the oldest water technologies on Earth. The Nabateans at Petra, over 2,000 years ago, carved 30 miles of channels into sandstone cliffs to funnel every drop of desert rain into underground cisterns. They built a city of 30,000 people in one of the driest places on the planet, and they did it entirely with collected rainwater. The Romans built cisterns under every major building. Villages across sub-Saharan Africa, Southeast Asia, and rural Australia still depend on rooftop collection as their primary water source today. The technology didn't become obsolete, we just got distracted.